Oh my gosh. How is everyone doing today? My watch just went off and told me it was 5 o'clock. Yeah, hope that you are doing well. It's been a very good day for me. And again, I hope it has been one for you. I've been extremely focused. I've been dialed in, as we say. And I guess I just can't say enough. It's funny to learn this stuff, but it's another thing to experience the results of this stuff. Community. And it's interesting because even though we may not be in the same space, the fact that the power of our minds, the fact that I know that we have come together to do something extraordinary for ourselves and to get support from others, it's really helped me to stay focused. Hey Kiana, hey Danielle, and yeah, so I'm just excited. My birthday is in about 8 weeks, and I am going to be doing. We'll talk about this a few days from now, but from the 10 days, I'm going to an 8 week, as I call the Daniel experience. It's 8 weeks, and we really go in. Hey Sharon, we really go in and we really back each other. We really support one another. We're just dialed in on those 8 weeks, and we do them multiple times throughout the year just to regroup, to reset. And so yeah, I'm excited. 47, I don't feel it. I don't know if I look it or not. That's not my concern. As long as I don't feel it, I feel amazing. And again, you guys are really helping, just being supportive, seeing you here. It really helps. And I hope that it does the same for you when you are in community, like I said. And even again, if you're not in person, if it's virtually, depending on where you have your mind, which is why mindset is everything, depending on where your mind is will determine how you allow those connections to affect what happens next. So I just hope that everybody's getting the same results that I'm getting, which are amazing. I hope that you're feeling better. I hope that you feel a reset. I feel a reset. I really do. And I hope you do as well. All right. Man, just want to review a little bit just to make sure that we remember these things. Uh, this whole 10-day Daniel challenge is literally about trying to uh, tune in to what Daniel and the Hebrew boys, what they did, what they accomplished. And I've been doing even some more homework behind this since we've been on this challenge. And I'm about to go all in on this YouTube channel on some other things and sharing some more stuff, because just his story and seeing where life is now, seeing what science is coming into the understanding of now, and then seeing how it connects to scripture. I don't know, God, I've been on this thing to see, to continue to connect the dots between science and the Bible, because today so many of us are so concerned about this study and that study, and it's just amazing to see that in these different studies that God is actually being seen, and what he's already accomplished is being proven by, not that he needs proven. I mean, he needs our faith. We don't need we don't need him to prove anything. But it's just fascinating to see that science is actually proving God to be who he is, and have done all the things that he's done, and they don't even realize they're doing it. So I can't wait to start those videos. Those will start after the challenge. But just things about fasting, things about, oh my gosh, the power of our words, how we're made, how God made us, and how science sees our makeup right now. It's so similar. It's just all insane, y'all. So I hope that you guys are going to be ready for that too. Those are going to be some fun videos. And again, hopefully you'll be a part of this 8 week and the next 8 week and the next 8 week, because we get results on a regular basis. Um, are you committed to your nose? That's what I want to know. Are you committed to your nose? Do you even have any nose actually right now? What have you crossed off of your list? What are your non-negotiables? It's important. it's important again because it's not that we are letting go of everything. We're just going cold turkey and we can't do anything. But there's certain things that we should make sure are non-negotiable depending on our goals. So again, if you started this and you have a goal that you're trying to meet within these within the 10 days, hopefully again you set a few parameters which for your boundaries. These are the no's. Okay, what will you not do? Did you set your no's? And when you set your no's, do you understand your reasons why? And with those reasons, what did you replace them with? Because that all is going to tell what kind of results we will have at the end of this. Again, if you're keeping track, if you're keeping record, if you're keeping your measurements and all these different things, hey, Adrian, hey, Lisa, if you're keeping track of all these different things, you should be able to see a difference. Just know for this season, right? um, I still would say, Kiana, that you should still have certain non-negotiables in general. You should have seasonal non-negotiables. So you should have lifetime non-negotiables. You should have season non-negotiables, and you should have momentarily non-negotiables. Okay. Again, it depends on where you are. And what I love about these 5 areas of focus is, again, when we get into these, we already did the circadian rhythm. I hope that made sense. Did you guys understand the circadian rhythm thing? Hopefully it made sense. And now we get within the circadian rhythm and we look at meal timing. And then from meal timing, we start to look at sleep. So now, and the reason why I put it together that way, because that kind of completes the cycle of the day. So we have the circadian rhythm, that's the 24 hours. We have today the meal timing, when you eat matters, and that's usually like a 12-hour window, give or take. But then you have the wind down, sleep, wake up. That I say that's the next 12 hours. So the first 3 areas, 5 areas, the first 3 of the 5 areas of focus cover our day. But then when we get to 4, it's talking about how we are approaching our nutrition within our time restricted eating window. And I'm gonna give you some good information. And again, you'll get the PDF. Hopefully you'll just really take that and really allow it to digest, because it's some insane new statistics. I have them in there, and as well as just giving you an overview of what happens with the types of foods that we eat, when we eat them, the whole 9, which is why these first couple of days are important for you to understand. Because if you do not follow these, we're going to see some of the things that food's doing to our bodies. And it reminded me of some things, and I learned some more stuff, like continuing to study. That's why I love to just dive into this on a regular basis, because there's just an insane amount of things that are happening that once you hear, you're like, wow, that makes sense. But this is what's really happening with my body. Like literally, God created a world within a world. There is a world within you that has its own battles, that has its own peace treaties. It's all kind of stuff that's going on inside of our bodies. And what we eat will determine what happens in our bodies. Okay, so definitely important. And then of course the last one is the movement. I love that one as well, because again, it's not always about lifting weights, and everybody think that that's the thing. And it's even worse that everybody thinks that you can lift yourself out of a hole, or lift yourself out of a sinkhole. I just say it that way. And you can't. Like, the food is everything. Every time somebody asks me, well, how? Because it's funny, because I go to the gym and people are like, how'd you get so like defined? My nutrition is balanced, and my nutrition is above what I do at the gym. So I'll tell you this, with movement, even though they're all equally as important, what you do when it comes to movement, how you feel after movement will determine how good you are. It's pretty much almost like a measurer. When you see what happens when you're walking for a long time, or when you're working out, and how long you can last at the gym, or that's gonna let you know what you're doing with number 4, how number 3 is working, how number 2 working, how number 1 is working. Okay, so it's very important that you keep all these. I'm telling you, this is the, I'm gonna call this the holy grail. I'm gonna call it, because it does prevent us from having to do a bunch of diets that again plateau. As long as we follow certain guidelines, and we're intentional, we know how to intentionally do other things that may be, in quotes, off track, but we know how to get around them. We know how to set up for them, and we know how to get rid of them once we've put them in our body. Those things are important. And while you have a society of people who are living unintentionally, let me tell y'all, I try to put statistics in these documents for a reason. Let me tell y'all, it is some stuff going on right now. Matter of fact, just yesterday I was looking at something, and of course, just they're always doing statistics on the top killers. Watch this. The number one has been number one for almost 30 years, and that's cardiovascular disease. And that's pretty much a blood flow issue, which makes sense to me, because if life is in the blood flow, that's how nutrients kind of get to your body. Your immune systems disperse them into the bloodstream, and they get around to different parts of your body. The best place for the enemy to attack you is going to be in your bloodstream. So to prevent you from having nitric oxide, to prevent you from having blood flow, so that no nutrients get to where they need to get. And so then your mobility goes down, your health goes down, and you are no longer productive, and you're no longer in the position that God needs you to be in to be your best self. So of course that makes sense for that to be number one. Number two killer, watch this, is all because of too much sugar. And right now we're also finding out seed oils. A part of that as well. It's cancer. Cancer is the number two, but check out number three. Number three is pretty much the medical field, like medications. I forgot how he said it, but it's connected to the medical field and medications and things like that. Like literally, it's the number three killer right now. So we got to be mindful that we're doing everything that we need to do, so that we don't have to take certain medications that help us with this, but then destroy 5 other things. I mean, do y'all ever listen to those infomercials? And they got the people. I'm gonna tell you, the one that's the funniest to me. I know we all have streaming TVs. The funniest is, what's that commercial? I'm lowering my A1C. It's easy to, y'all know what I'm talking about, that commercial. But then once you get finished hearing them singing and being all happy about whatever, I forgot whatever drug that was, looking to the side, listening to the side effects, it's like, man, they might as well just die instead of taking that. That's a lot of issues. And that's what, it's just an insane thing that's going on. And thank God right now you do have some people who's trying to fight for us. And I even watched something today with Robert Kennedy, who's also like an advocate for health. I love how he said this, and again, if not that he's a Trump supporter, for those who have an issue with that, it's not even that. It's funny thing about it, he said he was going to go to whoever's in the administration, whoever's going to listen, because there's an attack, there's a war on the food in America, and it's killing our kids. And one thing he said today I love, he said, children aren't Republicans, children aren't Democrats, they are innocent, and our kids are dying because of the food that we are feeding them. He says, heck, my boss likes McDonald's and he likes Cokes. Hey, kudos to him. He says, but however, I think it's important that we at least know what these things are doing to our bodies, what these cereals are doing to our kids. Did y'all know what cereals are doing to our kids? Did y'all know that Kellogg, how many know the whole reason that Kellogg's invented his cereals and many of his products? Do y'all know? I know it's like how many seconds delays? I don't know what it is, but I want to see if anybody in the chat knows the reason why Mr. Kellogg, the religious zealot back in the day, why he actually invented his product. Lisa, that is Jardians. That's funny. But do you guys know? Check this out. Kellogg's created his product to help with energy, so he thought, and for muscle building. And then number three was to suppress sexual desires, because he felt like men were especially men, but it affects everybody. But there was literally an ingredient that was engineered and put into Kellogg, especially the cereals like Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, all that put an ingredient there that suppress the sexual desires, like that suppress that part of your body that I guess had had urges. But the whole point of it was because he felt, and like most people do want to put power in their hand, he felt like men were too provocative and there was too much porn going on. So we're gonna create this and help them stimulate that. And the funny part about it is what people don't realize is what happens when you suppress something for so long. People go crazy. And that's what it's insane. He did it, and who was the other one? It was Kellogg's, and it was one other. They were on the same agenda, but that's completely insane. All right. So this is why we're hopefully doing our best to go toward whole foods and that, which we'll talk more about that on the next day. All right. So let's get into this document. Yeah, Lisa. Wow. Exactly. And I'll send, if y'all listen, I'll send it to you. Matter of fact, I might do a video on that too, so people can really see like these are the type of people that we put our lives in. We put our lives in their hand. Because we buy the products because it's easy. Just add some milk, some more sugar to some more sugar, and then we add more sugar. Because I know I added sugar to my already sugar cereal, and then when you put milk into it, you added more sugar because lactose is full of sugar as well. And so I'm having 5 or 6 bowls. Go figure why I couldn't breathe half the time was because I was having sugar attacks. But yeah, that was the reason why I invented that. Anyways, let's get into this. Your body, your biz. And the whole point of that is to try to get you in a mindset, because it can be a lot to remember. But to get yourself in this mindset to run your body like a business, okay? They're a 24-hour business, like literally, like you have the hours of operations, and then you have hours after operations where there is cleaning and you're getting the office ready for the next day and things like that. So let's get into this meal timing. All right, let's see, make sure you don't, yep. It's still not looking the way I put it before I hit go live, but it's still fine. Meal timing, when you eat matters. Okay, here we go. Another aspect of mind shift, day 7 mind shift. Remember, the mind is an element, part, substance, or process that reasons, thinks, feels, wills, perceives, and judges, okay? It's an element, a part, or a substance, or process that reasons, thinks, feels, wills, perceives, or judges, okay? The shift of it is to move from those places, or to move or cause to move from one place or position to another. All right, so that we don't get stuck, we don't get stagnant. That you would like to, that would be good to read about. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, Lisa. Insane. But that's the whole point of shifting our mind so that we don't get stuck. Like I said yesterday, like when mindsets are good to have because it gives you foundation. But when we get stuck in a mindset, then our foundation becomes a tradition and becomes a religion, which are pretty much simultaneous, almost the same thing, but they pretty much cause the same thing. They meet in the same place. It causes you to do the same thing over and over again, which prevents you from growing, which is going to cause your results to be stagnant. And that's literally leads to death a lot faster. So we do want to have a mindset to be focused on something, but in that area of focus, what's going to help us grow is allowing our mind to shift, okay? Transforming your mind leads to consistent shifts. That's why we transform our minds when we renew them, all right? We want to continue to renew them. It's not just a scripture, it's an actual real life principle. The more we learn, the more our mind transforms. But if we're singing the same songs, if we're reading the same scriptures, if we're watching the same shows, if we're just doing the same things, all eating the same foods, doing the same exercises, y'all know about this as well. If you do the same exercises over and what's up, Dave? Over and over again, your body stops responding. If you eat the same foods over and over and over again, it could be chicken, it could be broccoli, which again, a good mindset. Okay, I'm gonna stop eating this bad food, but now I'm gonna start eating broccoli and chicken. And if you continue to eat that on a regular basis, What was once good now becomes stale because you're continuing to do it over and over and over again. Transforming your mind leads to consistent shifts. So when you know you have a motive or a purpose for something, then it prevents you from eating chicken and broccoli all the time. Now it might be time for some yams or some eggs, whole eggs. It might be a day where you want egg whites and less whole eggs. It might be a day where you want some seafood. But knowing what they do and what their benefits are helps you to have constant results. And again, as we continue to go through this, which I hope you're really listening to the things that this 5 areas of focus really help us to do and the goals it helps us to complete. Insane. Okay, so boom, just reiterating the 5 areas of focus. Your body clock, that's the circadian rhythm, maximizing your day. Today is meal timing. When you eat matters, okay? Can't wait till tomorrow we get into the sleep. Can't wait to get into the eat and staying active. But today is about meal timing. When you eat matters, okay? All right. Practice consistency. This is important. This is how time restricted eating it operates in the window of the circadian rhythm, okay? Time your day starts to time your day ends, time you eat. Make sure those are as consistent as possible. How do you know your clock is in rhythm? You get tired around the same time daily. That's one of the indicators. So don't speed past that. But one of the ways you know your clock is off, and we talked about yesterday, your clock being off can be the difference between what being on or off could be the difference between you getting Alzheimer sooner or later or at all, dementia sooner or later or at all. And so some of these are really good. These are some of the main ones that we see affect our clock. So if you're not getting tired around the same time every day, your clock could be off. You wake up around the same time daily, that means your clock is on. If you're not, that means your clock is off. You eat during the day, you stop at night. Those help keep your clock together. Even more so, I don't know if I said that on here. I didn't. Eating around the same time every day. Doesn't have to be 8, 12, 4, every 4 hours. I mean, it needs to be every 4 hours, but it could be 8:15 and you know what I'm saying? Then 12:15 there or whatever. But you want to make sure within eating every 4 hours, you want to make sure that you're eating around the same time every day. I love to use the example for those who have dogs. A dog cannot tell time at all, but that dog knows when it's time for them to eat, and they are ready around the same time every day because the body is made it's made intelligently. All right. And even though they're not human, the one thing that separates us from them is we have a creative side. We were created in his image according to his likeness, which is why dogs cannot build an airplane, but humans can. But we do some of the other things. We all bleed, we all go to the bathroom, but they can't build. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main difference. But as far as the function, it's the same. They're going to be ready to eat around the same time every day because you feed them around the same time every day. So many of our dogs have better circadian rhythms than us. Insane, right? This is the foundation of your day and will lead to massive results, okay? Making better choices in that window gets you even better results. All right? Again, everything you do counts. Every adjustment counts. But when you do these type of things in the window it's supposed to be done in, that's how you get the best results. Okay. I get it. Some things are better than nothing, but I don't want to live a better than nothing life because that's just too average. Okay. Meal timing. When you eat matters. Your circadian clock deals with the time of day you eat. TRE, time restricted eating, deals with the amount of time between each meal, okay? Running your body like a business. The day shift, it handles, I say it like this, it handles administration and logistics, food and how it is distributed throughout the body. What it can't process, it sets aside. Somewhere, anywhere, and I've mentioned that before, but I'll say it again so we can remember these things. Your body is pretty much like you being hired for the position that you have. You know, whatever job you have, you're hired for a specific position, and you already know if they give you an assignment that somebody else does, you're going to look at it like it's crazy because you don't know what that is. Your body is you. It's going to do the same thing. So if you put something in your body that your body was not assigned to process, it's going to figuratively look at it like it's stupid and leave it right where it is, or send it to somebody else, or send it down the food chain like, hey, I can't do nothing with that, can you? And then it goes, and then it goes, and then eventually it gets set aside in the corner of the office or in somebody's drawer, and it's just storing. Literally, it's storing up. Our bodies do the same thing. Completing assignments can take up to like a long time. Things can get stuck in our system, all right? What your body cannot process, it will set aside. Again, I can't wait till we get into some other information, because many of the things that are happening to our bodies are not necessarily because we're even eating too much. Some of y'all probably don't even eat a lot. Like, I go to restaurants and people are like, dude, how are you eating that much food? Because I know my windows, I know my portions, and I like food. So this is why, even for me, this is ideal. Like, I would be one of the ones on this call myself if it wasn't me, because I like to eat. Show me a way to where I can eat, but I can control how I eat. When we put our body on a system, you can control how you eat. The cravings, they're not what they are when your body is out of whack. When your rhythms are off, your body craves at the wrong time. It can crave at any time. When it's under control, it craves when you want it to. You have what you want, and then you stop when you don't need it anymore. You don't have, let me tell you, I don't crave for anything. I just want certain things because I like them. That's the space you want to be in, because again, you can control the outcome. Snacking in between meals. Many of us know this, but let's reiterate this because I know some people still be doing this. Gives your gut a smaller assignment in the midst of working on a larger one. So it could be in your wheelhouse. It could be in your wheelhouse. But if it's, like I said, when I say wheelhouse, because a salad is something your body can recognize. Fruit, something your body can recognize. Nuts is something your body can recognize. An easier detriment, because if you're eating those in the middle of that 4-hour window minimum, which takes for that one assignment that you already given your body, you eat anything, no matter what it is. It's looking at it like, even though, yeah, you gave it to me because you know I can handle it, but I can't handle it right now because I'm still working on this. So let's put this here. What if it never gets a chance to get to it? It's set aside. So a lot of times, again, these minor little adjustments, either way, is causing certain things like, why did I gain weight this week? Or why am I feeling sluggish this week? I didn't eat anything bad. No, you didn't eat anything bad. You just ate good things at the wrong time. So you're still getting bad results, okay? Being intentional with TRE is very important. Don't forget to eat either. Plan it, all right? Because a lot of times when you don't plan it and you're just scrambling, you're going to put anything together. And that's one of the issues that most people are having. We're going to talk about what malnutrition looks like in a few days, and just it causes problems. Again, some of the problems that we're having with our bodies aren't even not because we're just eating all the bad stuff. It's because we're not eating enough of the right thing, and we're eating too much of something else that's right. Too many carbs, and it could be good carbs, but your body only needs so many. You're having protein and nothing else. That's great for only good for so long. And you can tell in the person's skin, you can tell in a person's energy. You only can have certain things for so long before it really starts to affect you, even if it is good for you, okay? So the best way to make sure, until you even get used to it, I don't always plan my meals, but I am good at knowing what to put together because my brain already says I gotta have some fiber. My brain already says, because I'm eating 3 meals a day and I wanna have at least a pound of protein 1 gram of protein per pound, and I'm like an average of 185. So that means for 3 meals a day, I need to have split 185 grams of protein. So that's between 60 and 65 grams of protein per meal. That's my goal, my go-to. Everything else, it is what it is. If it's a high day, it is what it is. If it's a low day, that is what it is. But when it comes to the protein again, it's still good information what I'm giving you. I know it's not here, but just explaining why you need to be intentional. Because as you age, many of us, you've heard this, protein is like, well, let's say this, muscle They say now it's like your insurance policy as you age, because the chances of you catching, getting sick, the chances of you getting cancer and different things like that, they go down because it's not going to really grow. The chances of it growing in muscle are slim to none. They feed off of fat. So if you're getting older and your body doesn't hold on to muscle as much, if you're not eating protein, you're not going to maintain your muscle. Now, here's another thing. You do not, protein doesn't necessarily, as you get older, it doesn't help you pack on muscle. But what it does is it prevents you from losing it. So it's important. If you're 120 pounds, it's important that you have at least 40 grams of protein per meal. And again, when you do this enough, you know what it is. I tell you right now, that's 4 chicken tenders. Or you can have 4 pieces of bacon and 3 eggs. It's going to give you 40. Now you want to have an apple because it's a low day. You want to have some sourdough bread because it's a high day. Cool. But make sure you're very conscious of how much protein that you're eating. I don't expect you to remember this, but there are things that you can do to actually pack muscle as you get older. And it's a supplement. We can talk about that on another day at another time. But what's important is to make sure that you are getting those that protein and making sure that, again, whatever body weight you want to be, I would just say have it there. So if you want to be 140, then split that into 3. And then if you have 2 meals, then you might have to, you have to up your protein. Again, 2 meals, just have 2 meals 6 hours apart. Things like that. All right. I hope that makes sense, because that's when I tell you that's important. Look that up. Like, protein is a lifesaver, especially as we age. Okay. So check this out. The TRE fasting benefits. So again, even though this is not like fasting as we know of, and there's a part of our program where we do fast, TRE still gives us an opportunity basically to allow our bodies to rest. So even if it's 4 hours in between meals, that's still considered 4 hours of no food. So that's fasting from food. And then if you have your last meal at say like 7 o'clock, you want to at least not eat again or put any calories into your body until 7 or after in the morning. 12 hours should always be your bare minimum. Okay? Bare minimum. When you have your last meal, even watch this, even if you ate too late at night, if you ate at 9 o'clock at night, don't eat anything before 9 a.m. Wait till after 9 a.m. Always make sure, it's imperative. That to me is one of the major parts of the TRE, not just eating every 4 hours, but make sure that you have at least 12 hours between your last and first meal, because these are the things that it does. It helps you to stabilize your blood sugar. It helps to regulate blood pressure. Okay. These are major deals. You get better sleep. Of course, even with that, making sure you don't eat too close to bedtime. But again, the whole point is, when there's no food on your stomach, you sleep better. When there's no food on your stomach, you stabilize your blood sugar, your blood pressure stabilized. It helps you to burn fat. It helps you to heal your gut when you're not eating. Yes, probiotics and prebiotics feed the gut, but one of the best healers for your gut is not eating. Helps heal you of all types of chronic diseases. Okay, promotes autophagy. It's that's a whole other conversation for another day. I don't know if some of you guys know what that is, but again, that's something we'll even dig more into, because again, more research, more studies are coming out about autophagy. Guy just keeps flipping these scientists' mind and they don't even realize it. It's beautiful. It's actually a detoxification. Ever since I learned this about fasting, let me tell y'all, I have not done a cleanse. It's so funny when I hear people say I'm doing this cleanse and I'm like, did you? Because you kind of look the same that you did before you took it. You lost about 5 or 10 pounds, but your skin still looks the same. Your stomach looks the same. Let me tell you, there is no cleanse that you can do better than the cleanse that happens to your body naturally through autophagy. It is an insane process. Again, don't want to go there now per se, but we'll talk about it more in the future so you can really grasp. Like, it's just insane. The body does some amazing things when there's no food in it, which is why I can get into that. It reduces risk of almost every chronic disease. It improves insulin sensitivity, okay, which means instead of having resistance, now you're sensitive, which means it processes better. It also slows aging. Check this out. The more you eat, the more you age. And the funny part about it is because America is all races. Again, we gonna see some of these statistics when we start talking about food and what happens when you're eating the wrong windows, when you're not following the TRE, you're not getting good sleep. We're seeing what we're gonna see. Like, and the numbers in America are outrageous. The number for kids, outrageous. And it's funny because, again, I'm like, oh, you look good for your age. But that's because everybody's looking the same pretty much. They're all aging, so it almost looks the same, but like you're eating too much. And no shade to it. And I like to eat too. But because I like to eat, I have to make sure that I follow these rules and make sure that there is restriction between my meals. Because if you're constantly snacking, you are tanking your metabolism. That lie that you were told that people growing up, oh yeah, just hey, get older, it just happens. Your metabolism slows down. No, yours slowed down because you beat it up and you clogged it. Don't put that on me. That ain't speaking life. Anyways, I want to say it again. It slows aging when you have time between your meals. It reduces inflammation, and that's important. Like I said, we're going to talk a lot about the effects of inflammation. Insane. But fasting, TRE, it reduces inflammation. It improves your relationship with food. Let me tell you, if you know me and know me well, everybody that knows me and knows me for a long time should have known my relationship with Chick-fil-A. And I still know it's good. I just don't crave it anymore because the moment I learned these rules unintentionally, again, I didn't realize all this was going to happen. I started to find this out as I just trust the process. Now I realize, wow, because my receptors have been reset. Again, we're going to learn some things about these fasting. I know a lot of stuff, but I've been learning the proper terms and how to word things. It's insane what happens to the body depending on the window of fasting, y'all. It's so insane. But for me, I thought me and Chick-fil-A would never break up. That was my girl. Like, that was my girl, ride or die. Like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was hating when she wasn't available on Sundays. That was important to me, right? But now I don't even crave it. I drive past it. I used to could not drive past Chick-fil-A without like feeling something. Now I can drive past it, feel nothing. Again, I know it's good, and I'm not saying I'll never go there again, but I don't have the craving. It's literally been detached, which means now I crave more of foods that that my body likes. I'm giving my body those things. Okay, so yes, it improves your relationship with food. It enhances your ability to enter a both spiritual and meditative state. That's secular. That's saying this. From studies, check that out. It enhances your ability to enter a both spiritual and meditative state just by fasting. What they know about spiritual, they obviously know something. They don't know what we know, but they know enough to know that if there's time between their meals, that it's going to be beneficial, not just physically, but also spiritually and meditatively. Like, that's insane. And again, I can't wait till I do that video, because when you guys hear some of the stuff, it's bonkers, and it's just it lines up with scripture. All right, painless. It's still 5:37. I thought I was talking short today. Okay, design your ideal eating window. That's what I want to know. I want you to, matter of fact, tomorrow maybe put it inside the chat. I'll probably ask you tomorrow. Text it to me. Put it in the Facebook group. But I want to know what is your ideal eating window. Okay, what will be your first and last meal time? Matter of fact, because this is the last document before we just review a few things. Does somebody already have on here? Do you already have your meal times? What will be, if you don't have one, what will you commit to you being your first meal time and your last meal time? I want to know. I want to see. Put it in the chat. How will you ensure at least 12 hours between dinner and breakfast? How will you ensure that? Again, we ain't even got to the dieting, y'all. These are just following steps that help to keep us intentional and to make sure that when we do eat the food that we do eat, that it's able to do what it's supposed to do, and we don't put it in a compromising situation to damage us instead of helping us because of when we put it in our system. All right, first meal 9 a.m., last meal 6 p.m. That's what's up. 7 to 7, that's what's up. Okay, probably or yes. Because probably might get you results. So I would definitely say, like, just commit to the 7 and 7. It's going to make life easier. You already know what it is. And so you don't even have to think about it anymore. What's your plan for managing hunger outside of your eating window? That's a good one. What's your plan for managing hunger outside of your eating window? First one at 10, last one at 5. Yes. 10 to 5. That's perfect. That's literally pretty much my average time, 10 to 5. What's your plan for managing hunger outside of your eating window? Do many of you guys get hungry in between meals? What's one of the best ways to prevent yourself from being hungry within that break of eating food? What's the best practice? Well, I'll tell you mine. Like I said, I know we have a delay. I'll tell you mine, and you might can adopt this. It's probably on the next page. It's making sure that I eat fiber and protein first. Or, again, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I may not have fiber in a meal. It's gonna be at least 2 to 3 meals, 2 out of the 3 meals. But again, the one thing I will have every meal, my plan is lemon water throughout the day. Distractions. Here's the thing. Seriously, if you commit to having teas and coffees and water, right? So here's the thing. Okay, so I'll say with that. Tea, green tea, but as long as it's 8 hours, it cuts off 8 hours before you pray. Jesus, Kiana. As long as you have it no longer than 8 hours before you go to bed, green tea will come. Look, we drink that green tea, matcha green tea. And always remember this, matcha green tea is supposed to be a shot. You have it with 2 ounces of hot water. Get you some organic matcha green tea. When I tell you those hunger pains will go good night, you realize the hunger pain is not necessarily you being hungry. It's the bad bacteria throwing a hissy fit because you're not feeding them. They're the ones that have to eat more often because they're not even supposed to be inside your system. So they're going to fight you to eat in outrageous windows because they don't want to die. Your good bacteria can survive. It can survive you fasting 48 hours, but the bad bacteria cannot. When you're having those hunger pains, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the bad bacteria. Okay. So have you some green tea, or one of the things that I do to make sure that I'm not hungry is, again, I'm saying I'm going to have at least 60 to 65 grams of protein per meal. Trust me, trust and believe. If you have no less than 40 grams of protein in a meal, the chances of you getting hungry within 4 hours are slim to none. Probably the only thing that's going to make you get hungry is if you're stressed. And the problem with that is it could be food, it could be anything. But what happens when we stress, our dopamine is trying to go after trying to make you go after whatever has been known to give you a release. That could be about anything, just anything. Okay. Anything. All right. But I'm saying it could be food, something else. But I'm saying those are the only other ways. All right. Okay. What 4 categories do you focus on when you prepare to eat? All right. Remember, that's fiber, that's protein. Those things are going to kill hunger as well. Coffee, teas, those things are going to kill hunger. And I promise you, if you guys do this 8-week and you really focus and hone in on this fasting window, a lot of those cravings that you have are going to change. They're going to disappear. What part of the day should you have your biggest meal? Okay. Again, it should be your first. You're just starting the day. You're just coming out of a fast. Now, you don't want to break it with something crazy. I mean, that first meal to be like a lot of bad calories. If you give your body calories that it can recognize, like whole eggs, there's so many vitamins in the yolk. Don't believe the hype about the cholesterol, because the cholesterol in the egg is beneficial. Have you some eggs, 2 eggs, have you some extra egg whites, have you some bacon, uh, eat your first meal, have some food. I promise you, you will not be hungry within 4 hours. Your smallest meal should be before bed so you can ensure that your you're on an empty stomach before you go to bed. Here's another thing. Y'all notice this too, right? When you go to bed and you have food in your stomach, you ever notice that you wake up with hunger pains and feeling hungry? Yeah, it throws your body off whack. So make sure you have your smallest meal to be your last meal. And again, I'm gonna teach y'all something in this 8 weeks. Let me tell you, my mom, again, my witness, I done figured this thing out with this yogurt that you guys are gonna have to learn how to make. And when I tell you, it's now this you can eat every day because of the pre and probiotics that's in it. But if you make it the way I show you, it is going to be a good time. It's the dessert that's going to help you extend life. It's so insane. What should you eat with every meal to feed your gut? I just said that, prebiotics, probiotics. Okay. If you want more energy during the day, aside from protein, what should your meal focus on? I've never said that to you all. But do you all know, okay, if you want to have more energy during the day, out of all the things we focus on, aside from protein, I'm gonna say aside from fiber, what should your meal be focused on? I'm gonna go to the next question while we have the delay, but I want to see what you say. What should you focus on? Because it's either you're gonna have energy or you're gonna crash. There's one thing if you focus on, you will crash. If there's another thing that you focus on, it will actually give you energy during the day. It also explains why our children crash. We think that, oh, they're just growing kids and they take naps at 12. They're wanting to take a nap at 12 because we actually unintentionally gave them something that that the marketing field told us to give our kids that actually helps them crash. That's why they're tired. Yep, you want to have fats if you want to maintain your energy. Last meal at 6, first at 11. That's good, Dave. Make sure you, again, everybody, when you're doing that too, it's good if you can walk before you eat. That's also going to help, or walk after you eat. That's also a hack as well. But you want to have fats, because healthy fats rather. If you're having carbs, and only time I would suggest you have carbs for your first meal is if you eat after you work out. If you do not work out and your first meal, remember, like, your cortisol levels are high for a minute after you wake up. You have some carbs, you hit it even harder. You're going to get tired during the day a lot faster than if you had fats. Okay. If you want to have more restful sleep aside from protein, what should you have for your last meal? I ain't gonna play the game because of the delay. It's the same thing. You're gonna have fats. So those are going to help you sleep better. Some people, it's funny, they'll tell you carbs, but now they realize if you have carbs at your last meal, carbs will spikes your insulin up to 6 hours. And so if you're eating, on a good day, we're eating 4 hours before we go to bed, let alone sometimes 2 to 3. Your insulin is going to be too high when you're trying to go to bed. You're not going to get deep sleep, and now you're going to mess the next day up. Okay. I'm not gonna go too far over this. You'll get this, but this is the same as Monday. So if you had the document from Sunday that talked about Monday, this is how we approach tomorrow. Okay, you want to make sure you approach your meals like this. I won't read it again. Look at the document from Sunday that talks about how we approach Mondays and Thursdays. This says Thursday and Monday, but it's the same thing. Okay. And then this is also, at least for these 10 days, but I'm telling you, just this alone will make your life different. Following those, okay? All right. Any questions? That is it. That is all, y'all good. Any questions? Kiana, you committing? You not probably, you committing, right? I hope so. I'm looking. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Everybody's good. Everybody's focused. Everybody focus. You're seeing results. Pray. Yes. Oh, I despise the delay. Okay. I take it everybody is good. And if you're not, I know many of you guys will text me anyway. But I'm gonna say anyway, just reach out to me. Be honest with me. Let me know how you are doing. All right. I want to know. I hear from Kiana a lot, and I'm grateful for that. You're focused. That's great. We all have to have a talk. I know some people are already in the community, so you'll be doing the 8 weeks. I want to make sure with everybody that we have a conversation so that you guys get the benefits that I'm about to start charging other people for, but I want to be able to talk to you and see where you are, what you're doing, so I can derive a plan for you. I came up with that concept because the other day I did it for my friend. He sent me something, what he was eating, and I was like, no, switch this out, do this, don't do this, blah, 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 blah. He hits me back in 3 days and says, bro, oh my God, I feel amazing. This really worked, bro. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So I want to be able to offer that to you all as well, okay? So before we start this 8 weeks, the ones that are going to be a part of it, make sure we have a conversation, okay? Because I want to make sure that in the midst of us doing what we're doing corporately, I want to make sure that I'm also having you focus on something specifically depending on where you are and what your result or what you want your results to be. All right. Anyways, have a great rest of your night. It's been late. It's been long. It's long and it's late. And I appreciate your time. Y'all have a great night and I will see you tomorrow. Keep killing it, y'all.